Welcome to Creepy, the best horror storyteller on YouTube.
Part 1.
It was supposed to be a fun weekend. A chance to escape the city, reconnect with old friends, and enjoy the beauty of nature. That's what Zoe had told herself when she agreed to join the trip. She had been feeling stressed lately with her demanding job, her messy breakup, and her looming deadlines. She needed a break, and a cabin in the woods sounded like the perfect place to relax and unwind. She had met her friends at the airport, where they boarded a small plane that would take them to their destination. There were 6 of them in total: Zoe, her best friend Mia, Mia's boyfriend Lucas, Lucas's brother Noah, Noah's girlfriend Leah, and Leah's cousin Jasper. They had all been friends since college, but they had drifted apart over the years. Zoe hoped that this trip would bring them closer together again. The flight was smooth and scenic, and they soon arrived at a small airstrip near the cabin. They rented a car and drove for about an hour, following the directions that the cabin owner had given them. The cabin was located in a remote area, surrounded by dense forest and a sparkling lake. It looked cozy and inviting, with a large porch, a stone fireplace, and a wooden sign that read "Welcome to Paradise." Zoe felt a surge of excitement as they unpacked their bags and settled in. The cabin was spacious and comfortable, with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a basement. It had all the amenities they needed, including electricity, running water, heating, and Wi-Fi. The cabin owner had also left them a note saying that they could use anything they wanted as long as they cleaned up after themselves and respected the wildlife. Zoe and Mia shared one of the bedrooms, while the couples took the other 3. They decided to explore the cabin and the surroundings and agreed to meet back at the living room in an hour. Zoe and Mia went to the basement, where they found a pool table, a dart board, a foosball table, and a shelf full of board games and books. They played a few rounds of pool, chatting and laughing like old times. "So, how are you doing, Zoe?" Mia asked as she lined up a shot. "I'm doing okay, I guess," Zoe said, shrugging. "Work is crazy, as usual. But I'm glad I came here. It's nice to get away from it all." "I'm glad you came, too," Mia said, smiling. "You deserve some fun. And maybe some romance, too. Have you noticed how cute Jasper is?" Zoe rolled her eyes. "Mia, please. He's Leah's cousin. And he's not my type." "What do you mean, he's not your type?" "He's smart, funny, handsome, and he has a British accent. What more do you want?" "I don't know, Mia. I'm not looking for anyone right now. I'm still not over Jake." "Jake was a jerk, Zoe. He cheated on you, lied to you, and broke your heart. You need to move on. And Jasper could be the perfect rebound." "Mia, stop. I'm not interested in Jasper. Or anyone else, for that matter. I just want to have a good time with my friends. That's all." Fine. I won't push you. But just keep an open mind, okay? You never know what might happen." Zoe sighed. She loved Mia, but she wished she would stop playing matchmaker. She didn't need a man to be happy. She just needed some peace and quiet. They finished their game and headed back to the living room, where they met the others. They decided to have a barbecue for dinner, and Lucas volunteered to be the grill master. They went outside, where they found a large grill, a picnic table, and a fire pit. They also noticed a shed, a boat dock, and a trail that led to the lake. Lucas fired up the grill, while the others prepared the food. They had brought burgers, hot dogs, chicken, corn, salad, and beer. They also found some marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers in the cabin, which they planned to use for making s'mores later. They set the table and waited for the food to be ready, enjoying the fresh air and the sunset. They ate, drank, and talked, catching up on each other's lives. They reminisced about their college days, their crazy adventures, and their shared memories. They joked, teased, and complimented each other, feeling the bond of friendship that had lasted for years. They were having a blast, and Zoe felt her worries melt away. After dinner, they cleaned up and gathered around the fire pit. They roasted marshmallows and made s'mores while they told stories and sang songs. They played Truth or Dare and revealed some secrets and confessions. They laughed, gasped, and cheered, feeling the thrill of the game. Zoe was dared to kiss Jasper, and she reluctantly obliged. She felt a spark, but she quickly pulled away. She looked at Jasper, who smiled and winked at her. She felt a flush, but she shook it off. She told herself it was nothing, just a harmless kiss. They continued to play until they ran out of questions and dares. They decided to call it a night and headed back to the cabin. They said goodnight to each other and went to their respective rooms. Zoe and Mia changed into their pajamas and got into their beds. That was fun, wasn't it? Mia said as she turned off the lamp. It was, Zoe agreed as she closed her eyes. I'm glad we're here, Zoe. I missed you. I missed you, too, Mia. You're my best friend. They hugged and fell asleep. Zoe had a nightmare. She dreamed that she was in the woods, alone and afraid. She heard a growl and saw a pair of glowing eyes. She screamed and ran. She stumbled and fell. She felt a sharp pain and woke up. She opened her eyes and saw a dark figure standing over her. She screamed again, and the figure lunged at her. She woke up for real and realized it was a dream within a dream. She was still in her bed in the cabin with Mia. She breathed a sigh of relief and checked the time. It was 3 a.m. She got up and went to the bathroom. She splashed some water on her face and looked at herself in the mirror. She was pale and sweaty, and her heart was racing. She told herself it was just a bad dream and that she was safe. She tried to calm down and went back to her room. She got into her bed and tried to fall asleep. She couldn't. She tossed and turned, feeling restless and uneasy. She had a feeling that something was wrong, that something was out there, watching and waiting. She didn't know what it was, or why she felt that way. She just knew that she was scared. She wished she had never come to the cabin in the woods.
Part 2.
Zoe woke up to the sound of screaming. She jumped out of her bed and ran to the living room. She saw Mia, Lucas, Noah, and Leah, all covered in blood and bruises. They looked terrified and confused as they tried to explain what had happened. They told her that they had been attacked by a group of masked men who had broken into the cabin in the middle of the night. They had been armed with knives, axes, and chainsaws and had tortured and killed Jasper. They had also cut the phone line, the internet, and the electricity, leaving them isolated and helpless. They had managed to fight back and escape, but they didn't know if the attackers were still around or if they had more victims in mind. Zoe felt a wave of shock and horror as she tried to process the information. She couldn't believe that Jasper was dead, that he had been brutally murdered by some psychopaths. She couldn't believe that they were in danger, that they had to run for their lives. She couldn't believe that this was happening, that this was real. She looked around and saw that the cabin was a mess. There were blood stains, broken furniture, and shattered glass everywhere. There were also signs of struggle and evidence of torture. She saw Jasper's body lying on the floor, mutilated and unrecognizable. She felt a surge of nausea and turned away. She asked her friends what they were going to do, how they were going to get out of there. They said that they had to find a way to contact the authorities or to reach the airstrip where they could get help. They said that they had to stick together and to be careful. They said that they had to survive. They decided to check the car and see if it was still working. They grabbed some weapons and some supplies and headed outside. They walked cautiously, looking for any signs of movement or danger. They reached the car and saw that it was intact. They breathed a sigh of relief and got in. Lucas started the engine and drove away. He followed the road that they had taken the day before, hoping to find a town, a gas station, or a phone booth. He drove fast, but not too fast, as he didn't want to attract attention or to crash. He kept his eyes on the road and his hands on the wheel. The others sat in silence, trying to calm their nerves and to cope with their trauma. They looked out the window and saw the forest, the lake, and the sky. They looked at each other and saw the fear, the pain, and the grief. They looked at themselves and saw the wounds, the scars, and the memories. They drove for about half an hour without seeing any signs of civilization or life. They started to wonder if they were going in the right direction or if they were lost. They started to worry if they had enough gas or if they would run out. They started to doubt if they would ever make it or if they would die. They were about to give up hope when they saw a sign. It read, "Welcome to Paradise." It was the same sign that they had seen at the entrance of the cabin. They realized that they had gone in a circle and that they were back where they had started. They felt a surge of panic and anger. They wondered how they had missed the turn or if they had taken the wrong road. They wondered if the sign was a trap or a taunt. They wondered if the attackers were still there or if they had followed them. They decided to turn around and try again. They hoped that they had made a mistake and that they could find a way out. They hoped that they had a chance and that they could escape. They turned around and saw a truck. It was parked behind them, blocking their way. It was black and had no license plate. It had a bumper sticker that read "Hunters for Life." They saw 4 men get out of the truck. They were wearing masks and holding weapons. They were the same men who had attacked them in the cabin. They had found them and they had cornered them. They heard them laugh and speak. They said that they had been watching them and playing with them. They said that they had been hunting them and enjoying it. They said that they had been killing them and collecting them. They said that they were part of a cult and that they believed in a god. They said that their god was the forest and that he demanded sacrifices. They said that their god was hungry and that he wanted more. They said that they had chosen them and that they were special. They said that they had seen them and that they had liked them. They said that they had followed them and that they had waited for them. They said that they had a game and that they wanted to play. They said that the game was simple and that it had rules. They said that the game was fun and that it had prizes. They said that the game was called The Cabin in the Woods. We thought it was a getaway. It was a hunting ground. They said that the game was over and that they had won. They said that they were sorry and that they had to go. They said goodbye and they attacked. Zoe screamed and fought. She stabbed and kicked. She bit and scratched. She lost and died. She wished she had never come to the cabin in the woods.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar horror stories.